Welcome back, everyone, to Money and Markets. To wrap up our discussion of the technology sector, we're bringing back Tony Sagami. He, of course, is the editor of the Asia Stock Alert newsletter for Weiss Research. And joining us from New York with his views on the industry is Scott Moritz, technology reporter for TheStreet.com. It's good to see both of you, gentlemen. Scott, I want to start with you. You report on this industry every single day. Give me your take on the health of the tech sector right now.
Yeah, a lot of us are looking at that right now, especially today after Black Friday and it being Cyber Monday, trying to pick out the winners and losers here. You know, one thing we did see, aside from Amazon having great growth and Google product search and PayPal doing a lot of payments, we did see kind of a contrary note from Gartner this morning. Their forecast for PC sales, while still in the double digits, came down from their most recent previous forecast, which was 17.9% looking for PC growth in 2010. That's now come down to 14.7%. That is a slight but significant drop, and also a further indication of how weak the PC sector continues to be, especially with the rise of competing devices, especially Apple's iPad, the tablet devices from other players like Samsung, and I would argue even mobile phones.
Tony, do you agree? We're going to see a soft growth opportunity here for the PC sector?
Oh, I do agree. You know, the personal computer segment of the tech industry is not where you want to be invested. There's a lot of other more exciting parts. You know, when the computers first came out 25 years ago, they were just a whiz-bang, amazing piece of technology. But now the profit margins have shrunk as prices are. So if you want to make some tech profits, that's not the place to look. Now, there's a lot of other exciting areas that we should talk about.
Scott, a little bit earlier in the show, Tony told us that one of his rules for investing in technology stocks would be based on the company's performance in Asia, because that's obviously where the growth has been coming from. Do you think that's a fair way to look at the sector right now?
There's a lot of opportunities in Asia, obviously. Apple's trying to make inroads with the iPhone in China and other places. That will obviously is a huge market for them. You have also a lot of manufacturing in Asia, which is a great opportunity for people looking to play the U.S. market. Most of your laptops, notebooks, even tablet devices are made in Asia, Taiwan, China. So yes, Asia is a hot spot in tech, kind of always has been. You also have the rise of players like Samsung into new devices like the tablets and the smartphones, and HTC's push into that same market with their smartphones. Asia's pretty well alive and kicking.
Tony, your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. You know, and Scott really hit it on the boom when he talked about manufacturing. You know, that everybody knows that China is a giant manufacturing giant. But there's one company that takes advantage both of the intersection of manufacturing and technology. That's called Hon Hai Precision Industries. It's the largest electronic contract manufacturer in the world, and it just received a giant contract from Apple. So that's a way that you can not only invest in the technology boom going on, but also from that low-cost Asian manufacturing boom that's going on also.
Scott, I noticed that you spend a lot of time on the mobile space. Tell me about the health of that sector. Who's winning, who's not?
Right. You know, Apple has a clear lead there in kind of the what they call the mind share. The iPhone is still the phone to beat. Although right on its heels is the Android devices, Google's Android software that runs a lot of the devices made by different manufacturers. Android growth is in some markets outpacing Apple's. It's a good two-way race there, but you also have two or three other players with a share of a growing market, and that would be Microsoft's new Windows Phone 7 devices. There's a number of them at U.S. carriers. You also have Research in Motion holding on to its position, especially with business users. And then Motorola. Motorola has a couple of phones in the works that look to be even better than the iPhone, just in terms of specs. Apple doesn't always make the best phones, but they do make a good integrated device with software and hardware combined. The Motorola phones seem to have some superior parts to them that make them kind of it might help level the playing field for Motorola, which is important because Motorola had a lot to lose as the Apple iPhone goes to Verizon. Verizon, one of the biggest customers for Motorola, that would cut into their business. But the new Motorola phones coming at AT&T at early next year should be a good offset to that.
Tony, your thoughts? What's hot, what's not?
You know, Scott's right. There is a lot of competition. There's going to be two winners. The first is going to be the iPhone because of its popularity with everyone, but also that Android, which is kind of the open platform of the cell phone business. That's going to be the big winner going forward. And one company that's going to profit from that is a Taiwan company called HTC Corporation. It makes Android phones, has fantastic products, and also serves as the outsourcer for a lot of other cell phone makers. So it's a tremendous to play on that open platform Android phone.
Scott, looking ahead, what trends, what advancements are ripe for the technology sector, and what should investors be paying particular attention to?
You know, as I mentioned, the PC market is a continuing decline story. Tony's very keen to that as well. And you know, the areas where the PC is being offset are, you know, obviously the tablets, but also I would argue in smartphones. And you figure consumers only have about a fixed amount of money they're going to spend each year, and I think a lot less of it is going towards conventional PCs and even conventional laptops. I think it's going more towards the newer devices, and smartphones are one of those. You can do a lot on a smartphone right now. There's a number of manufacturers offering very attractive phones. You know, it is the go-to gadget or the must-have gadget of the year. So I think smartphone and mobile computing is going to be a big theme for us for many years to come.
Okay, Tony, final word to you. What do you think? It sounds like Scott's talking about the death of the desktop.
You know, here's a big picture thing to keep in mind. You ever heard the saying that all roads lead to Rome? Well, in China, all roads lead to Baidu. It doesn't matter what phone you're connecting on. They essentially go to Baidu.com's homepage, and that's the way to profit from the entire Chinese cell phone boom.
All right, Tony Sagami, Scott Moritz, thank you both for your time.
Great, thanks, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.
Also, thank you to Jen Amos, Nilas Mativ, and Rudy Martin. As always, if you have questions for any of this week's guests or suggestions for topics that you'd like us to cover, just email us at weissmoneynetwork@weissinc.com. Coming up next week, we're checking in on the health of the U.S. economy. We'll tell you how the Fed's actions are affecting it and how it will respond in the future. Plus, we'll look to the stock market for clues about what 2011 holds and give you concrete ideas for taking advantage of that knowledge. I'm Jamie Holmes for Money and Markets. We'll see you next week.